for you and against you. I think for the players it went against them a little bit last week. Then obviously Lee decided to stay with the same starting lineup, which was even more understandable because they hadn't won for a while. So he felt, don't change the team now, because if you change the team now, even if you go and freshen it up with 3 or 4 faces and the team get beat, people are going to say to him, why did you change your team? So he was in a no-win situation really, picking the team for the weekend. I know the characters of the lads, so I think that, you know, probably somewhere along the line, whilst the result isn't acceptable, and they will say that as well, by the way, the players will say that because they're an honest set of lads. I think there were some circumstances that went against them at the weekend, but I don't think I can defend them too much more than that, but predominantly that's what I will do from time to time anyway. I don't tend to speak about what goes on in the dressing room. What goes on in there stays in there.
What are the expectations for this season and beyond? What can this team achieve?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, there's always a long-term plan, and everybody wants to have a long-term plan in a football club. But for me, you'll never get to the long-term without having the short-term. So the short-term plan at the moment is to try and get an 11 ready to play against Cardiff City in just under a couple of weeks' time, and then to get ourselves out of that relegation zone. That's our immediate task.
Can you look beyond that? Have you been told by the owners that they're looking for a promotion chase?
No, I haven't been told anything like that. No, we haven't. We've spent enough time now together. 2 meetings before I was given the job. A late night travelling Friday up here. The team had finished training, had arrived in Hull by then. All the tactics had been done by Lee. So I've spent time then, another 4.5 hours in a car with Dong on Saturday. So no, nothing has been told to me what I need to do or my expectations or whatever. I think that pretty much anyway, they'll know my type of character. Don't forget I had, you know, nigh on a month at the end of last season, so hopefully I can stand them in good stead.
Don, why was Steve the right man for the job?
Well, first and foremost, a proven record. This is the club needs at the moment, and also it's time for start to having some stability now. And I know that we've always been labelled foreign owners, and we don't know where we get the saying that we like keep second managers, which unfortunately happened. But the longer Steve Coach will stay here, the more likely we'll get back to the Premier League sooner. So that's the reason we choose him.
Can you give the background to Harry Redknapp's sacking? Was it purely the results on the pitch?
Well, for sure, that didn't happen because he doesn't speak Chinese. Like the other day he was saying, and I speak Chinese, and I wouldn't say it's purely about the results. And there are certain things I think we both agree we need to move on to different directions. And as a person, I love him. I cannot ever thank him enough. Along with Steve last year, they saved us there, and that's going to be a different story without these two there.
Don, do you have a message for the fans, because there's been a lot of upheaval the last 12 months?
Well, this football in this country is huge, and it also means a lot of things to us. And we have a lot of business, like casinos. This is not casino business. You go to a casino, you go back home with a bag of cash or with empty hands. We know football is something different. We feel for the fans like the result we had 2 days ago, and we really feel for it. And we apologize for that result, which is absolutely not acceptable. We went to the dressing room, we said exactly the same thing for the players, and Steve said something really nice in the dressing room. Tonight, when you brush your teeth, take a long look at your mirror yourself. Think about it. The fans deserve what your performance up there was totally disaster. And we feel that. And considering taking over this football club, it's going to be 1 year in 20 days and this is the first time we actually ready to offering stability to the club.
I'm sure the fans will be warming to the sound of stability. I mean, Steve, have you got a job to do to heal the squad? Because we've got some players who are brought in by Gary Rowett, some players brought in by Zola, a lot of players brought in by Harry Redknapp. Do you have factions you need to heal it? What do you need to do to bring all those players together?
I don't know the answer to that yet because I haven't been in there to sense it. And if perhaps you may think that, which is why you've asked that question, or it may be being talked about in and around